Well, I always thought that the Brown bounce was going to be a temporary phenomenon. You get a new Prime Minister. The old Prime Minister, Mr. Blair, was very unpopular. The new Prime Minister goes around saying he's offering a better tomorrow. He doesn't have to do very much. He smiles pleasantly. It's the summer. There's not very much political activity, and people are enthusiastic about him. I always thought, therefore, that the bounce was going to not last. But what did surprise me was the circumstances in which it all finally came adrift. I rather thought that we would go into the autumn, have the usual politics at Westminster, and that then Brown's popularity would start. What I hadn't expected was firstly that he really was going to try to call a general election, and I'm quite sure now that he did intend to do it, and that in fact his lead was going to collapse so spectacularly over a 7-day period when the public realised that in fact he wasn't going to do it because he was afraid of losing the election. Instead, I also acknowledge that we have a big mountain to climb. The fact that we may be ahead in the opinion polls is obviously very heartening, but on its own it is not going to be sufficient to get us a working majority. We need to keep that lead and sustain it and really build it up to around 43 or 44% in the polls to have a certainty of forming the next government. The electoral system in this country, I'm afraid, is a bit distorted at the moment, and Labour can win on about 37% of the vote, and we need about 43% of the vote to win an absolute majority. But what I do think is clear is that now, for really quite a sustained period of over a year, the Labour leader's gone, and Brown's attempt at restoring it, which people thought for a while might be a permanent phenomenon, has turned out to be completely transient.